Narayana Hari. At this very time, in this world, accessible to us in our vicinity, so many hundreds of things are happening. Things are told, taught, things are learned, and so many actions are done by so many people. To you and I also, at this very time, there's so many things that can be known, to know which we can pursue those who tell us all those. At this very time, we can take up so many activities, hundreds of them, and beautiful results of those actions further we can gain. None of those phalas are given in this class. Rather, none of those teachings, guidances also are done. Here, rather, something peculiar is taught, that whatever you are learning and doing otherwise, and whatever you are gaining from those learnings and doings, what is taught in these sessions, these classes is all of that is temporary. Boldly it is told. Because it's temporary while going, it gives such a pain to us. More so, even further inquired, not only they are temporary, they are only imaginary. There is something real. It is infinite, but it is not objective. It is subtle, though it is everywhere, to be found in your own self. And till years and years and years of listening happens, and as we are going to see in our Vakya Vritti, the Shruti and Acharya and Guru Kripa, this subtle thing is understood. In this, none of the outer gross things that otherwise we work and earn, gain, and others are working and gaining, they are not at all there here. Here only one thing is told, and that is not a thing, it's a being. So abstract, so tough for intellect to catch. Not only that, while inspiring us to reach out to that, the most perspiring and heart weakening thing is told in these classes to detach from, get rid of, give up all those things to whom we have given our hearts and lives for lives together. And yet, giving up all those pursuits, you people have chosen to come to listen to this seemingly abstract and very subtle truth that is so great, so commendable. That's how you are something different, something divine, something extraordinary. You know, that too in this Kali Yuga of so much of mandata of the buddhi, bahirmukata of the vyaktitva, vishayasaktis, bhogasaktis, so much prevailing. That's called Kali Yuga. In this yuga, reaching out to some place or class where the Paramatattva is taught, Upanishads are taught, not less than Upanishad, the Yoga Vaashishtha, Maharamayanas are discussed. Coming to those sessions, that too regularly, that too sincerely, that too seriously. What an amount of purity you have, what an amount of divine grace you got, what an amount of punya phala you are enjoying of so many lives. You know, other than congratulating you, saluting you, wishing and praying that these efforts should give the result of fruitfulness, fulfillment in this very life. Other than wishing and praying, as a speaker from this side, I can neither have any words, vocabulary to appreciate you, nor anything to give to you. Give you as gift. This much I can say. You are doing the best, therefore, you are the best for yourself. You know? In this very time, you can do some business, can increase your bank balance, you can become social, can increase your friend circle, you can go for your shoppings, your enjoyments of millions of things that are there, prompted by your own near and dear ones or your own mind's wishes, which they are waiting from such a long time. Saying no to all of them, coming to these Adbhuta Atyanta Sukshma Tattva Jnana. Jnana is great. Once you gain, it's liberating. But one is willing to come, one is willing to listen, one is willing to understand, trying to focus, trying to concentrate, trying to become sukshma to catch it. What? It's not an ordinary effort. You know, best is an adhyatmika seeker. Only the next two better things then, beings then that is, along with knowledge, the one who is doing sadhana. And the higher than that is the one who has already reached the sadhya or the siddhi. Only those two are greater than you. And you yourself are going to become those two next if we continue. Keep it up. Know that you are in that sacred zone of blessedness. Blessings from the Paramatma, the Guru Tattva, Guru Parampara, Shruti Mata. Otherwise, कौन योग वासिष्ठ नामक ग्रंथ को सुनने बैठेगा? What is the population in the world? 800 crores. We are doing class in English only, not in Hindi that only Indians can listen, or some my mother tongue which I know, only few. In English we are talking. But how many are even knowing that such things are happening? How many are even feeling for it? How many are putting effort to come? I know people who know me so closely, who know the spirituality and its glory, greatness, they themselves are so unfortunate that some or the other reasons, excuses come to them that continuously they are avoiding this. And we are continuously accessing it. That blessings, when we realize, outside the blessings are common to all, that these things are available. But blessings from within, that the Lord seated inside us, making all our personality convenient to attend to this. Recognize it and pray only for this to continue. मैं तो ये कहता हूँ भगवान इतना महान मौका दिया आपने, कितने जन्मों का पुण्य है कि शास्त्र अध्ययन अध्यापना, प्लीज allow this alone to happen through this equipment as service to you and the world, while my own inner unfoldment happens to me. मैं तो इससे बढ़कर और दूसरा कोई प्रेयर नहीं देखता, मांगता नहीं कुछ. Isn't it? That's the best we are doing. You know, thus you're all in the good books of all the rishis now. You may not be in the good books of the bhogis, the samsaris, the other bahirmukhis. You know, how does it matter? Kiske good books mein hame rehna hai? In whose uh, list of appreciation we have to be? Give it now. Give up not this one. है ना? प्राण जाय पर तत्व श्रवण न जाए. प्राण जाए पर तत्व मनन निधि ध्यासन न जाए. प्राण जाए पर तत्व ध्यान न जाए. ऐसे ना, रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. तो प्राण जाए पर तत्व शास्त्र श्रवण न जाए. As I'm telling you, Big, so-called famous, great, grand, glorious gurus also talk so many things, so beautiful, so flowery language, but miss to communicate tattva. And other than tattva, anything taught is misguidance only. Because the people are already caught up in jiva bhava, deha bhava, jagat satyatva, janma marana samsara. For that, the cause of kartrutva, bhoktrutva. Again, if somebody is teaching that only, isn't it? Isn't it? Think about it. And here, our Vasishthaji, Bhagavan Rama, are so kind to us. Valmiki ji, Mother Saraswati, that continuously they are bombarding our intellects with the presence of something beyond all this, the reality, continuously inspiring us. You are that, you are that, you are that. You are already that. Just turn within, focus towards it, realize it, stay in it, don't come out of it. You are that. Other than that, if you come to the Kalpitha Upadhi level, you are nothing but going to get bound and suffer. मस्त है कि नहीं? अब देखो, अब हम इतने जन्म से इस जन्म में शुरू से रोते आ रहे कि भगवान ने मेरा देखभाल नहीं किया, has not blessed me. अरे, you are the most blessed ones. Then, as we say, the crore patis, they are getting bhoga, not yoga. They are only creating more and more karma phala, janma marana, samsara. They are not getting liberated. Don't get carried away by the outer things of the people. That they are well dressed, they are well vehicled, they are well housed, then they are well fed. So bhautika. Are they well equipped in the Tattva Jnana? Think. Are they well equipped? No. Then जिनके यहाँ तत्व ज्ञान नहीं है, ये सब पुण्य फल खत्म होता रहता है. Again, they have to struggle to do so much punya to gain these things, or else they will not come. So how many dangers are there in it? That I am addicted to bhoga, but I don't do purushartha to regain it. Then what will I do? I'll go by the shortcut wrong methods. Then how much of the sin incurred because of it? How many of the dukkha, yonis and lokas we go through or they go through? Isn't it? Here we are struggling to study and understand Shastra. Through that, understand the Tattva. Other than that, we are not doing anything. That is so lucky we are. We are not creating any karma vipaka. That's the greatest thing that's happening in our classes. Every day 6 classes we do, almost 7.5 8 hours. कोई भी कर्म नहीं कर रहे हम जो हमें संसार में फंसाएगा, क्योंकि हम केवल आत्मचिंतन, तत्व चिंतन, सद्वस्तु चिंतन we are doing it. I don't know in which words we can explain what the God's Guru's grace to us through these classes. More than this or along with this, those are choosing to be regular, they are the ones. I just, while congratulating you and appreciating you, also show that concern and have no right to warn you or give you any suggestion as advice that come what may, leave not this path. Leave not this path of understanding the truth through the study, the authenticity of the Shastras. लीव नॉट दिस वन. फिर एक बार शुरू हो गया भटकना, फिर से इसमें आने में our own ego becomes obstacle. Our own so many mind intellects, notions, inhibitions, hesitations. Like people, those who have discontinued, why don't they come now? है ना? Because that ego in them. मैं कुछ दिन से नहीं आ रहा था, हम जाए तो स्वामी जी क्या बोले? अरे मूर्ख बेवकूफ, मैं तो तुमको तुम्हारे लिए तो बोल रहा हूँ मैं सत्संग. They can come, but that ego, isn't it? If they are going somewhere else, nothing like it. I only pray, only this. Anybody discontinue here, let them start somewhere where Tattva is taught. Isn't it? And that sankalpa and willingness required. Let not ourselves lose ourselves. Let us not let lose ourselves. This is very essential. We have to do the sankalpa, prarthana, and prayatna with whatever the capacities, conveniences we have. That's called पुरुषार्थ. छोड़ दिया सब कुछ, कहा कि जो होगा होगा, जो प्रभु की इच्छा है तो होगा. अबे तुम्हें इच्छा नहीं है, प्रभु को क्यों होगा महाराज? Lord will not have any ichha. It is our ichha. After knowing that we are bound, after knowing that we have to be liberated, we have to have the ichha. We have to have prayatna. We have to have the prarthana. Isn't it? So, again, 2597th time, I am suggesting go anywhere if you want, but it should be a Tattva Shastra Shravana Satsang. Isn't it? The many Mahatmas who are more matured in higher level of experience, who can talk better in language, in vocabulary, in examples, in way of presentation, in accents, in creating that humor, in using all poetic language. Millions, how hundreds are there, not millions. Anywhere, but that should be Tattva class. याद रख लेना. So this today, I just felt when I just scanned through those who are coming regularly, what a pure heart that able to come regularly. Some of us may be coming for the Atma Shanti of the speaker. That was in the beginning. Now, no, you are coming for your own selves, you know it now. That your jnana is maintained, increased, deepened, strengthened, made subtler. Neither I am telling class for you, it's for me now. I have realized it. So too, you are also coming for yourself, not for me. You realized it. And both of us realize that this setup is made by the Lord for our spiritual knowledge evolution. In this life, it's the greatest gift we are getting from the Lord. And in many lives, this is the greatest gift. The next level of gifts are, as already told, that we have grasped all the sadhya sadhana and we are fully involved in the sadhana and we are almost reaching and reached the sadhya. These are the only next things. Next better things than this. So welcome Leelopakhyanam in third Utpatthi Prakaranam of Sri Yoga Vaashishtha Maha Ramayana. So yesterday we have seen Parama Akasha, starting the Varnana of it. That Sarga 29 ended. Today we'll be starting the 30th Sarga having only 34 mantras. In that Parama Akasha, Aneka Ananta Koti Vichitra Brahmandas are there like this. This Brahmanda also we don't know anything beyond earth. Even in the earth also we have not known anything. ऐसे अनंत कोटि ब्रह्मांड है in that Maha CHIDAAKASHA. That are the Vichitra Brahmanda. A Varnana of it, Vaashishthaji does it because Rama asked the question. Okay? And toward the end, he himself says, with whatever the little buddhi I have, with that this much Varnana I have done, and I myself know that what Varnana I have done is not complete. And so you also don't conclude that what I told Vaashishthaji Guru about the Brahmandas in the Akasha, they are end of all and be all and all. No, even beyond, inexplicable to anyone. Like in one of the Shastras, not one, more than one, in Bhagavata and also in Skandadi Purana, with my Maya Shakti, how many Ananta Koti Vichitra Brahmandas are done? I myself do not know, the Lord says. Just to show that I myself do not know. Though it is an Atishayukti. Why Atishayukti? Because there is nothing which is hidden from him actually. He doesn't know means not that he cannot know, he need not know. Idea is only to tell exaggeratingly, though it's a fact, about the Srishti is a inexplicability, Bhagavan says. Maybe nahi jaan sakta. I myself cannot do the Varnana of the worlds that are projected by my Maya. Not like some people. They say, how much of money I have in my banks? I don't know. My children, my these, those people maintain. And how many branches I have of my company? I don't know. In each, what is the turnover? I don't know. In each of the bank, how many employees are? I don't know. All of them are mine only. बट हर एक का नाम मैं जानता हूँ क्या? मैं जान सकता हूँ, जानना चाहूँ तो, बट जनरली आई डोंट नो. Like that, the Lord says. That's how Vasishtha concludes. That's how the name of this Sarga number 30 is Vichitra Brahmanda Varnana. Vichitra is not funny or no. Vichitra is variety. Chitra Vichitra. Chitra means painting. Vichitra means variously painted. Different Ananta Koti Brahma. Now, when this knowledge is heard by us very clearly, exclusively from such a text like Yoga Vasishtha, our intellect gets so much widened and expanded. Our understanding. That this world which we thought so big, these things around us, beings around us, our relation with them was them, our attachment with them, which itself be all and end all, it was like that for us in our life. All that narrowness goes away, isn't it? When with my effort I can seek those big lokas and Brahmandas, why am I running behind the wretched things and beings of the world? That maturity comes. Even beyond that, even why all of them? Because they also end. With my effort, we can identify with Aham Brahmasmi when I can. Why not go for it? The purpose of description of all this is that you with your Purushartha, as you can do lot of sins and get lost in Narakadi, you with your Purushartha, as you with your effort can remain as human, so too you with your Purushartha can rise into the different lokas and lokadipatis also. And beyond all that, you with your Purushartha can realize your own inner self and permanently become infinite. To make us realize all that are these texts, these topics, these discussions, which are otherwise nowhere they are found. Only in Upanishads, only in such Upanishad Sarabhuta Granthas. Okay, let us start. Om 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 Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Om Namo Brahmadibhyo ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. ओम यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्व वेदान्ताः सच्चास्त्राः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्. ओम शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रं भाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ओम श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनामवरानने. ओम ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मत् गुरुभ्यो नमः. श्रीरामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्री वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषद योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणोक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृति पुराणेतिहास संतवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थम तत्रोक्त ऋषिमुनि गुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रह प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्वाध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवद शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनर्वाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैन्दव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्षपुरुषार्थानां सुसम्प्रतिष्ठा अवाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां सङ्कल्पितसत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्मसाफल्यार्थम् अनेकशास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्नमध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति मोक्ष प्रकरण शास्त्रस्य पारायणम् अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ते तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शन दृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः स्फुरन्ति सीकरः यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे बहिरन्तश्च मे विभुः यो विभात्यवभासात्मा तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः ॐ सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखगनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तमायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ ससदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्री गुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नता स्मः पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरभिकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्रपरब्रह्मणे नमः श्री वशिष्ठ विश्वामित्र वाल्मीकि वेदव्यास वामदेव नारदादि उपनिषद योग वासिष्ठ महारामायणादि शास्त्राणाम् आचार्येभ्यो नमः श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण शास्त्रम तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणम लीलोपाख्याने विचित्र ब्रह्मांड वर्णनं नाम त्रिंशतितम सर्गः. Let us chant the 30th sarga, 34 mantras. Shri Vasishtha Uvacha Pruthivyaptejasam Tatra Nabasvan Nabasorapi Yathottaram Dashagunan Adityavarnan Kshanat Dadarsha Paramakasham Tatpramana Vivarjitam Tatha Tatam Jagadidam Yata Tatrandamatmakam तादृशावरणान् सर्गान् ब्रह्माण्डेषु ददर्शसा कोटिशः स्फुरितान् व्योम्नि त्रसरेणो निवातपे महाकाशमहाम्भोधौ महाशून्यत्ववारिणि महाचिद्रवभावोत्थान् बुद्बुदान् अर्बुदप्रभान् कांश्चिदापततोदस्तात् कांश्चिच्चोपरि गच्छतः कांश्चित्तिर्यगतीनन्यान् स्थितान् स्तब्धान् स्वसंविदा यत्र यत्रोदिता संविद येषां येषां यथा यथा तत्र तत्रोदितं रूपं तेषां तेषां तथा तथा नेहैव तत्र नामोर्ध्वं नाधो न च गमागमाः अन्यदेव पदं किञ्चित् तस्माद्देहागमं हि तत् उत्पद्योत्पद्यते तत्र स्वयं संवित् स्वभावतः स्वसङ्कल्पैः शमं याति बालसङ्कल्पजालवत्। श्रीराम उवाच किम् अधः स्यात् किम् ऊर्ध्वं स्यात् किं तिर्यक् तत्र भासुरे इति ब्रूहि मम ब्रह्मन् इहैव यदि न स्थितम्। श्रीवसिष्ठ उवाच स सर्वावरणा एते महति अन्तविवर्जिते ब्रह्माण्डा भान्ति दुर्दृष्टेः व्योम्निकेशोऽन्ध्रको यथा अस्वातन्त्र्यात् प्रधावन्ते पदार्थाः सर्व एव यत् ब्रह्माण्डे पार्थिवो भागः तदधस्तूर्धमन्यथा पिपीलिकानां महतां व्योम्निवर्तुललोष्ठके दशदिक्कमदः पादाः पृष्ठमूर्ध्वमुदाहृतम् वृक्षवल्मीकजालेन केषाञ्चिद्धृति भूतलं ससुरा नरदैत्येन वेष्टितं व्योमनिर्मलम्। सम्भूतं सह भूतेन सग्रामपुरपर्वतम् इदं कल्पनभूतेन पक्ष्वाकोटमिव त्वचा यथा विन्ध्यवना भोगे प्रस्फुरन्ति करेणवः तथा तस्मिन् पराभोगे ब्रह्माण्डत्रसरेणवः तस्मिन् सर्वं ततः सर्वं तत्सर्वं सर्वतश्च यत् तच्च सर्वमयो नित्यं तथा तदणुकं प्रति शुद्धबोधमये तस्मिन् परमालोकवारिधौ अजस्रमेतत् एत्यगच्छन्ति अजस्रमेत्यगच्छन्ति ब्रह्माण्डाख्यास्तरङ्गकाः अन्तः शून्याः स्थिताः केचित् सङ्कल्पक्षयरात्रयः तरंगा इव तोयेब्धौ प्रोह्यन्ते शून्यतार्णवे केषाञ्चिदन्तः कल्पान्तः प्रवृत्तो घर्घरारवः न श्रुतोऽन्यैर्न च ज्ञातः स्वभावेन रसाकुलैः अन्येषां प्रथमारम्भे शुद्धभूषु विजृम्भते सर्गः संसिक्तबीजानां कोशेऽङ्कुरकला यथा महाप्रलयसम्पत्तौ सूर्यार्चिर्विद्युतोद्रयः प्रवृत्ता गलितुं केचित् तापे हिमकणा इव आकल्पं निपतन्त्येव केचिदप्राप्तभूमयः यावद्विशीर्य जायन्ते तथा संविन्मया किल स्तब्धा इव स्थिताः केचित् केशोऽण्ड्रकमिवाम्बरे वायोस्पन्दा इव भान्ति तथा प्रोदितसंविदः आचाराद् वेदशास्त्राणाम् आद्या एवान्यथोदिते आरम्भोऽपि तथान्येषाम् अनित्यः संस्थितः क्रमः केचिद् ब्रह्मादिपुरुषाः केचिद् विष्ण्यादि सर्गपाः केचिच्चान्यप्रजानाथाः केचिन्निर्नाथजन्तवः केचिद्विचित्रसर्गेशाः केचित्तिर्यङ्मयान्तराः केचिदेकार्णवापूर्णाः इतरे जनिवर्जिताः केचिच्छिलाङ्गनिष्पिण्डाः केचित् कृमिमयान्तराः केचिद्देवमया एव केचिन्नरमयान्तराः केचिन्नित्यान्धकाराढ्याः तथा शीलितजन्तवः केचिन्नित्यप्रकाशाढ्याः तथा शीलितजन्तवः केचिन्मशकसम्पूर्णा उदुम्बरफलश्रियः नित्यं शून्यान्तराः केचित् शून्यस्पन्दात्मजन्तवः सर्गेण तादृशेनान्ये पूर्णायेऽन्तर्धियामिह कल्पनामपि नायान्ति व्योमपूर्णाचलो यथा तादृगम्बरमेतेषां महाकाशं ततं स्थितम् आजीवितं प्रगच्छद्भिर्विष्णुवाद्यैर्यन्नमीयते प्रत्येकस्याण्डगोलस्य स्थितः कटकरत्नवत भूताकृष्टिकरो भावः पार्थिवः स्वस्वभावतः यः सर्वविभवोऽस्माकं धियां न विषयं ततः तज्जगत्कथने शक्तिर्न मम अस्ति महामते भीमान्धकारगहने सुमहत्यरण्ये नृत्यन्त्यदर्शितपरस्परमेव मत्ताः यक्षा यथा प्रवितते परमाम्बरेन्तः एवं स्फुरन्ति सुबहूनि महाजगन्ति इति आर्षे श्रीवासिष्ठमहारामायणे वाल्मीकिये उत्पत्तिप्रकरणे विचित्रब्रह्माण्डकोटिवर्णनं नाम त्रिंशः सर्गः। श्रीराम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 जय जय राम जय जय राम। श्रीराम शरणं मम। श्रीरामायण शरणं मम। श्रीवसिष्ठशरणं मम। श्रीविश्वामित्रशरणं मम। श्रीवाल्मीकिशरणं मम। श्रीव्यासशरणं मम। श्रीनारदशरणं मम। श्रीसरस्वतीशरणं मम। श्रीसद्गुरुशरणं मम। श्रीराम शरणं मम। शरणं मम। शरणं मम। बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण दिव्य मोक्ष शास्त्र की जय। श्री विश्वामित्र वशिष्ठ वाल्मीकि आदि परम आचार्य गुरुवर्य गण की जय। सब संतन की जय। समस्त श्रोता गण की जय। सोता गण की जय। रोता गण की जय। सो विचित्र ब्रह्मांड कोटि वर्णन है ना. And a common sense thought, little subtle if you are, you'll catch that if something is happening somewhere, it will be happening elsewhere too. If nothing is happening, then nowhere nothing is happening. Like here we are having a class. That means definitely there must be somewhere somebody doing the class. Or I know how many. If somebody is dying here, तो somewhere else also somebody is dying. कोई यहाँ जन्म ले रहा है तो कोई यहाँ कोई लड़ाई कर रहे हैं तो वहां भी लड़ाई हो रहा है. कोई बैठ के खा रहे हैं. It's not that one place, one person is only eating food. There are other animals, plants, कीड़े मकोड़े. They also are eating somewhere. कोई चीज एक जगह हो रहा है तो अनेक जगह हो रहा है. So from the micro to the macro. Micro we discussed now. If somebody is cooking at this time somewhere, somewhere else somebody is cooking also. चल रहा है. Whichever there we don't know. Macro level also. If you see at the macro level, if there is one Brahmanda like this with all its internal setup, like that there must be uncountable Brahmandas elsewhere. That's how little intelligence, common sense we have. We will be able to grasp this truth. Little more higher thinking if we have, what we'll understand it is, what is here, there also there. Therefore, there is no need to leave this, there is no need to go there. This is the next level of understanding. Even little higher if we become, that's what is the purpose of all these studies. That with all these appearances, with all these things in their variety of descriptions, yet they are all actually not real. One can reach to that level of understanding. Then If all of them are not real, what is real? Something other than all that. Therefore, instead of staying here or going there or going elsewhere, from here straight away enter into that zone of the substratum reality. Realize it. Then, once one realizes the reality, I am the reality intact in me. Anantakoti Brahmandas. Listen carefully. Kalpitha for my play, my entertainment. I am enjoying, and none of them are creating any samsara in me because they are not real, and I have not forgotten myself. When we forget ourselves and when we take projected as real, all samsara begins, continues. When I understand the projected to be projected and not real, when I realize myself to be the real reality, what can make our bal banka? है ना? कोई हमारा बाल बांका नहीं कर सकता. क्यों? क्योंकि है ही नहीं. Think about it. This is how the intellect. This knowledge we have to sustain in our heart by repeatedly listening, contemplating. बस ये रास्ता नापो, पकड़ लिया तो पकड़ लिया. Like we told you earlier, I don't know when was it example. We are born to these couple. Now they are your parents. That's all the whole life. These are your siblings. That's all the whole life they are. This is your spouse, spice, whatever. Over. These are my children. Over. This is what is the religion I am born in, nation I am born in, citizenship I have got. हो गया पक्का ना? उसी तरह once we come to the spiritual analysis, spiritual reality, वो ट्रैक में ही रहना बस. Because this is higher, this is greater, this is nobler, this is real. फिर से इस तरफ भटकना नहीं. All the beauties which we are wanting here and continuously getting denied of, cheated of, they're all found here. And what beauty we want? Only bliss. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. That Satyam, the truth alone, Shivam is the auspiciousness. It is Sundaram, therefore it is Anandam. That is here. See, listen this next thought. Nobody will share with you. Even I will not remember it every time. Why that thought came to me now? That still not believing about the presence of infinite blissful reality, still not accepting that in the deep core of our heart, whatever the desires we have for, all of that is mithya, we are not able to grasp it. That is called as a problem. To that level, in our heart, the wrong convictions are deeply rooted. जिद्दी हो गए हम उतना, वो कि जो जगत है ही नहीं है उसको सत्य मानना, और जिद्दी इतने हो गए कि जो अधिष्ठान ब्रह्म है उसको मानना ही नहीं. Like when to any of the lamp, etc., the dirt occupies it for months and years together. How difficult to rub it and wash it and make it clean. So to our heart has become thick in its mail of not accepting reality one side and not rejecting the unreal other side. वो इतना जम गया कि कुछ चीजें होते घर के सब लोग आकर वो गांठ खोलने की कोशिश करते, खुलता नहीं. या सब मिलकर उसको तोड़ना चाहते, टूटता नहीं. You understand? So to so many gurus and so many mahatmas are trying. Still this granthi of ours, hridaya, it is not getting broken or opened. But we have to keep on continuing. That effort only one day releases that granthi. And what is it? What I am seeing, thinking, smelling, tasting, touching, pursuing, desiring, wanting, ये तो है ही नहीं कभी. And what our Upanishads are saying, that Satyam Jnananantam Brahma, which is there in your own heart as your own self, that alone is real. Convincingly understanding it is the purpose of Vedanta and the one who's solution for all problems. Isn't it? That dog's tail, one ear you put it in a pipe. Remove the pipe out, it becomes like that. So too we come to the class and get the information about Brahman, the reality, everything else Mithya. The moment we go out of the class, what Swami said, that is Mithya. The Jagat alone is real. Ah, going and embracing in that. How quickly that happens, you see. That means to defeat that tendency of ours, how strongly should be our the spiritual knowledge, how deeply it must be. है ना, जैसे दुर्योधन के साथ गदा युद्ध करना है तो भीमा ऑल्सो शुड बी as a powerful wrestler like Duryodhana, and he also should have the mace Gada as powerful as Duryodhana. Sama Ujji, isn't it? Like the Karna has all his Dhanurbana, equal should be the Arjuna's Dhanurbana also. Understood? So too, the thick ignorance of both types, not believing reality, not disbelieving the unreality. To defeat that, the Shastra Jnana also should become so deep, sincere, regular, intense inside. That's what we have started every day. In this way, one thought we are sharing to tell why the Lord has given us this blessing and opportunity of knowing the truth through studying the Shastras in these sessions under this channel. याद रखो और हम कोई ऐसा कोई छोटा काम नहीं कर रहे बड़ा से बड़ा शुक्र है कि वी हैव नॉट caught up in any other things. I am so happy. Anywhere if I had gone, I would have been successful. बट भगवान ने सबसे हमको खींच के इधर लगाया इससे बढ़कर कृपा नहीं. यू कैन स्टैंड इन इलेक्शंस एंड बिकम कम से कम म्युनिसिपल काउंसिलर और खड़े होकर डिफीट भी हो गया तो भी उसका तालियां होते हैं. कोई शादी में आ गया ना, यू नो दैट, म्युनिसिपल काउंसिलर बन गया क्या नहीं, डिपॉजिट भी गया बट खड़ा तो था. वार्ड मेंबर, नॉट इवन काउंसिलर. अंडरस्टूड? I can become doctor, lawyer, you can become an actor. कितना बढ़िया करते हो. But then is it not God's grace that He is not binding us to anything? He's telling us study Shastra, know the truth, realize it, get liberated. Dance in ecstasy, in joy, and in gratitude to the Lord because of this blessing. You understand? Today we have seen our Skanda Purana, the last but one Sarga. How beautiful it was. But one topic. Tomorrow, Skanda Purana 529 or 30th, why 28th class, we are concluding. सब हिंदी में पाठ हो रहा था. I don't know why you never attended. Maybe yourself a महर्षि होंगे, जीवन मुक्त लोग. मैं वही तो मानूंगा. वही समझ में नहीं आता मुझे. When you come to my class, I see you अरे came अज्ञानी, and when you don't come to the class, I am surprised. Why? How come he became ज्ञानी? Or he or she. Again next day they appear. Again अज्ञान. ऐसे क्लास में नहीं दिखा. अच्छा ज्ञान हो गया होगा. Wonderful text we have done. I don't know which one I am going to start from day after. It may be Sutta Samhita. Let me see if I have a text of it. Anything, something new we will do. Maybe Ananda Ramayanam. I don't know. Something to will start. But in that, this ecstasy, the dance of seeing Krishna in Dwaraka, all of that described. We also, there's no other reason required for us than this to celebrate that. We are given the Tattva Jnana. Done? Now let's see the Shastra. Om Leelopakhyanam VICHITRA BRAHMANDA VARNANAM. What is the meaning of this title? We have explained to you. Chitra Vichitra Aneka Brahmandas Varnita in this Sarga, in that Parama Akasha, into which Leela and Saraswati have reached to, having crossed this Brahmanda and Brahmanda ke beyond all the Panchakosha, Panchamahabhuta Avaranas. Then suddenly stopped and she looked back. Everything is pitch thick, dense darkness, as if she can catch it with the hand. You know, a लोहे की तरह, ये मिट्टी की, ये पहाड़ की तरह. Where is the sun, moon, Ganu? That's what Leela asked. Mother said, In a kuwa, if there is a small khadyota is there, that light wala insect, you can't see that. So deep. So to the Akasha, we have traveled so much distance that all these unknown star wo dikhenge nahi. So that, to that vast distance, like the Hubble telescope or James, whatever, they have traveled in their Sukshma Rupa. Okay, in that Ativahika Deha. Continuation of that is the description of the Brahmandas in that Loka, in that Akash. Start. Shri Vasishtha Uvacha. Shri Vasishtha ji is telling. पृथिव्यप्तेजसां तत्र नवस्वन्नवसोरपि यथा उत्तरं दशगुणान् अतीत्य आवरणान् क्षणात्. In a Kshanakala, they have crossed all these avaranas. Which are they? Brahmanda, which is there, the Prithvi. Beyond that, Apu, the water, Tejaha, the fire, then Navaswan, the Vayu Mandala, then Navasaha. This Brahmanda related Akasha Mandala. Yatha Uttaram. Each one, the next one, compared to the earlier one, is Dashagunan, 10 times bigger. All of that Atitya Avaranan, all those Avaranas, they crossed in Kshanakala. From this also we can understand time is a concept. Time is Jada. The being who is absolutely conscious can master the time. Therefore, the time and place they can be under his control. So all these distances in a moment's time they crossed. So Prithvi up Tejasam Tatra Navasvan Navasoho api Yatha Uttaram Dashagunan Atitya Avaranan Kshanat. In a Kshanakala they crossed all of that. There where they went to, which is the one already concluded in the last, toward the end of the last sarga, it was explained, which we saw 2 minutes back. Dadarsh Paramakasham Tat Pramana Vivarjitam Tatha Tatam Jagadidam Yatha Tatranda Matrakam. So, mm, तादृशावरणान् सर्गान् ब्रह्माण्डेषु ददर्शसा कोटिशः स्फुरितान् व्योम्नि तरसरेणो निवातपे. Having crossed that, gone further, Dadarsha Parama Akash, which was the earlier Sarga, Parama Akasha Varnana. This one, in that Parama Akasha, Vichitra Brahmanda Koti Varnana. So it's starting. Dadarsha Parama Akasham. The supreme Chidakasha they have seen. No, it cannot be objectively seen, but for explanation sake, for us to apprehend and comprehend and understand. Dadarsha Paramakasham Tat Pramana Vivarjitam, which is beyond Pramana, measurements. Measureless, immeasurable, infinite, Parama Akasha, both of them have seen. Mainly Leela. Saraswati Mata knows all of that. And mind you, as I was telling, ki this class, as we are doing, somewhere else also somebody must be doing class. Here somebody is eating food, somebody must be eating somewhere else. In the same way, in this text, as taught by Vasishthaji to Rama, one Leela is guided by one Saraswati Mata. Not the only Leela is the only one. Like that, like in Markandeya Charitra we see, he also has seen the Maha Pralaya. He has gone into the nose or eyes of Bhagavan, and there he saw Anantakoti Brahmanda. So too in Tripura Rahasyam also we have seen that Raja Putras are taken into the Shila, and there the different world also only saw. World alone is seen. In Krishna Avatara, how many times? 3 times. Bhagavan Krishna shown his Vishwarupa. He has also shown it to Akrura. Understood? That means what? This is an example of Leela. Like that, how many sadhakas might have done the upasanas and God blessings from the Saraswati Mata herself, and like her, so many devatas, they also might have taken them to all this. And finally, made them realize the reality, Brahman. Like when you go to Dal Lake, so many boats are there. Any boat you go and come like that, each boat fellow will take many people every day. When you go to hotel, इतने लोग आते खाते जाते वो सबको सर्व करते रहते, isn't it? Why this is specifically said here, pausing? Ki you and I also can that way do the worship of your own Ishta Devata. When that Devata comes like Leela God Saraswati, Mata, you also, when they come, you ask, they'll also take you to all Brahmanda and finally make you realize Aham Brahmas. And not necessary also. Why? Already you are studying Upanishad. Catch the thought Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi. Go deep into that. That Shastra, that Satsanga also is no less than Mother Saraswati. You are already blessed by Mother only, the divine Brahma Vidya only, by listening to Upanishads. Not that every realized one was taken by one or the other Devata across all lokas. No need. वो लोग यहाँ रहकर ही मान लिए वो लोग. We understand like this, so many Brahmanas must be there in that projection of the Maya. Just make us realize the Adhisthana. Tatastu. Like this, millions possibilities are there in this cosmos. Know about it and what is our goal, what we have to do, specifically we have to be clear about it. Isn't it? Like this, when you keep listening, slowly the already gained knowledge, but it is in vague form, starts becoming deeper, clearer, conspicuous. Finally, we come to this only. That I am Brahman, I have to realize that for that, I have to stop all my Bahya activities, I have to stop my all inner activities, sit at one place, slowly start going beyond one by one kosha, then realize it. Finally, इसी बात में हमको अड़ना है. To get convinced about this thing which is started saying from the first class that we are continuing. पहले ही क्लास में वो बताया था, ऐसे 10,000 क्लास हो गए, अभी 10 लाख क्लास की जरूरत पड़ी तो भी हम करेंगे. बट फाइनली वी हैव टू रीच टू दैट. फॉर अस दिस इज द वे, isn't it? है ना? Like we are doing that prachodayat every day. You may be taking up any of the devata for intense more upasana. When that devata becomes kind compare, he comes and really makes us realize the self. If that devata himself is realized, every devata need not be realized. Like every Upanishad pravachanakara need not be realized. And yes also, both. जीवन मुक्त आचार्य जीवन साधना करने वाले भी होंगे. In that way, devatas also. By the way, so it's not an assorted discussion, it's not disconnected discussion. All of that are purely connected to the text, to the theme of the text, and to our own life and our evolution. तभी जाकर हम बात कर रहे हैं, कोई आउट ऑफ हैट नहीं बोल रहे. Now, ददर्श परम आकाशम तत् प्रमाण विवर्जितम. Immeasurable is that parama akash. One of the techniques of conquering the manorajya, achieving the chittavritti nirodha is thinking about the parama akasha, which is ananta. It is tarangarahita. It is absolutely empty. Consciously, when you think, you can find the thought-free state of mind, which is essential to become introverted, because the thoughts are pushing us to identify with them only, whichever the thoughts, objects of those thought, contents of those thoughts. When we become thought-free, it is easy to recognize ourselves. That's why Ekagra Bhumika, morning class. Common sense thought में हमने देखा ना, कर्म योग, भक्ति योग, yoga and jnana yoga. Here, then तथा ततं जगदिदं यथा तत्राण्डमात्रकम्. See, idam jagat yatha tatam tatha. As this jagat of ours is there in that Parama Akasha, Andamatrakam, a micro part, so too Tadrusha Avaranan Sargan, Brahmandeshu Dadarshasa. So she in that Akasha has seen so many Brahmandas, and each of the Brahmanda having like these Avaranas. Brahmanda, इसके चारों तरफ the Jala Avarana, the Agni Avarana, the Vayu Avarana, then the Akasha Avarana of it. Beyond that is the Sukshma Paramakasha. Like that, Tatha Tadadam Tatam Jagadidam Yatha Tatra Andamatrakam Tadrusha Avaranan Sargan Brahmandeshu Dadarshasa. How many? Kotishaha, Karodo, Spuritan, Vyomni in that Paramakasha. Like what? Trasarenu Niva Atape. In the sunlight, from that ventilator when the sunlight is falling, or from a window when the room is absolutely dark. Otherwise, in that rays that are coming inside, even a torch light bhi aap karoge, even cell phone ka light, those small dust particles you see, they are called traserados. Like that traserados uncountable are these Brahmandas with their avaranas, aneka koti in that Parama Akasha. Mother Saraswati has shown her, Leela is seeing. Remember, these are all not Stula Chakshu seeing. They don't have Stula Chakshu, they are Chakshu. They are in that Sukshma Sthiti Ativahika Deha. So, like the Trasarenus in the Atapa are the Aneka Koti Brahmandas with their Avarana. Tadrusha Avaranan Sargan Brahmandeshu Sadadarsha Kotishaha Spuritan Vyomni Trasarenun Iva Atape. Vyomni means that in that space. Atape Trasarenun Iva. Like the Trasarenus in the sunlight. Then this one beautiful shloka, fourth. You pray for me that I am able to explain. I pray for you that you are able to understand. Mast majedar baat. What is it? Mahakasha Mahambodhau Mahashunyatva Varini Mahachidrava Bhavottan Budbudanar Buddha Prabhan. ये भगवान क्या भाषा है, क्या thought. In our effort to understand this, that our intellects become subtler to understand. That struggle is called tapasya. Everybody does tapasya. Tapasyas are so many. One of the important tapasya, that's what we are doing in our classes. That's called jnana tapasya. ज्ञान पाने का, ज्ञान को पकड़ने का, ज्ञान में जीने का, ये ज्ञान तपस्या के है ना. कुछ भक्ति तपस्या, कर्म तपस्या, पीपल आर डूइंग वेरियस तपस्यास, है ना. शारीरिक तपस्या, कायिक तपस्या, वाचिक तपस्या, शारीरिक कायिक सेम, मानसिक, सो मेनी तपस्यास आर देयर. गीता में बताया ना, शरीर तपस देवद्विज गुरु प्राग्न पूजनम शौचमार्जवम ब्रह्मचर्य अहिंसा च शारीरम तपोच. वाणी का तपस्या अनुद्वेगकरम वाक्यम सत्यम प्रीतम चेत स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनम चैव वाङ्मयम तप उच्यते. मानसिक मन प्रसाद सौम्यत्वम मौनम आत्मविनिग्रह भाव संशुद्धिरित्येतत् तपो मानसम उच्यते. Ours is jnana tapasya, where we are trying to, through these mantras, understanding the jnana. And jnanams are only two. One Satya Brahma Jnana, second is Mithya Jagat Jnana. What is Satya Brahma Jnana? That Brahman alone is Satyam. What is Mithya Jagat Jnanam? That the Jagat is Mithya. Only this. What is meaning of Jagat is Mithya? Jagat, other than Brahman, independently it is Mithya. Otherwise, Brahman alone is in the form of Jagat. It is immanent form. Like the ornament, independent of gold is unreal. But gold itself is in the form of ornament. Isn't it? Gold itself is called transcendental form. Gold as ornament is the immanent form of the gold. So the pure Parabrahman, Nirguna Sachidananda, is the transcendental reality. Himself in the form of entire Jagat. It is in immanent form. Once I know the reality, when I know everything is Kalpana, the Kalpana rahe ya na rahe or kisi bhi tarah se rahe, that doesn't touch me. That's called realization. I am real sitting here. Steve is in front of me. I know the TV movies are unreal. When I know they are unreal, projected, it's a tragedy movie, a comedy movie, a horror movie. How does it matter? Because it's projected and not real. And I'm real, isn't it? That way. Then what happened? And this sloka. Mahakasha mahambodhau mahashunyatva varini mahachit drava bhavothan budbudan arbuda prabhan. Ah, these Brahmandas, which are koti shaha, which are like Trasarenu, in that Atapa, they are budbuda like, they are like the bubbles. Arbuda Prabhan. Arbuda matlab, there's a word Arbuda in Hindi also, in Urdu also. Arbo Kharbo. In the count it is. Arab Kharab kehte हैं ना. Like in English, millions, billions, then trillions. उसके बाद क्या है I don't know. So here, Arbuda Budbuda Prabhan. Budbuda के समान Arbuda means uncountable संख्या में these Brahmandas are there. If the Brahmandas are like Budbuda, where do you see the Budbuda? In the waters. Where do you see the water? In the ocean. Therefore, ocean, water, Budbuda. These three you have to know. What is the ocean? Mahakasha Mahaambodhau. That Mahakasha, the Paramakasha, the Chidakasha is Mahaambodhi, is the biggest ocean. And in that, Mahashunyatva Varini. Okay, in that, the Mahashunyatva Varini, in nothing there is called water, Mahashunya, before the projection of creation. Mahashunyatva Varini is, you can call it as Avyakta Maya Prakriti. In that, Mahachit Drava Bhava Utthan. Mahachit is the consciousness, is the Drava. And the Drava, the water, when moves. The Budbudas are made. Here also, the projected Kalpita Spandana in that Chidvastu is the one which is projecting uncountable Budbudas of Brahmandas. पहले तो you just come out of your bedroom, see your own house. Come out of the house, go to the terrace and see your own gully. Then go in a helicopter and see your entire city, town. Go in the flight and see your whole state or country. And go in the rocket, thoda dhire dhire, see the whole earth. Isn't it? Like that, earth in our Adhyatmika Shastra Bhasha, along with earth, the other 13 bhuvanas are there. 14 पूरा मिलाकर एक ब्रह्मांड कहते. Like this Brahmanda, like the bubbles in the ocean, uncountable, Ananta Koti are there. And the comparison the Brahmanda with bubble is so apt, connecting to the next topic. That as the bubbles come, play, again they break. So to the Brahmandas are coming, playing and breaking. The waves or the bubbles, the rise and set. When our intellect becomes that much expanded, as we said 10 minutes back, in its understanding, the small little things that are happening in this world, they become meaningless. That's why to get out of the small problems, we have to increase our vision to bigger. It's a very highly intellectual thought which we discuss in common sense thought. Like if I have to avoid my this moment's misery, I have to expand my vision to 1 hour. You have to avoid my 1 hour's misery. I have to expand my vision to 1 day. अरे 1 घंटे के 24 घंटे 1 घंटा मुझसे दुख है तो क्या परेशान छोड़ दो. You have to avoid my 1 day's problem. I have to think about 1 month. If 1 month's misery have to avoid, 1 साल में 1 महीना क्या फर्क पड़ता. So to if 1 साल का दुख if I have to avoid, and I lived 80-90 years, 1 year was bad, so what? Now expand it. If the whole life is miserable, how does it matter? इससे पहले आगे लाखों जन्म थे उसमें से एक है तो क्या फर्क. As we expand our vision, the small problem becomes smaller. Opposite of it, when our vision becomes narrow, smaller problem becomes bigger. That's one of the intellectual way to come out of the suffering because of problem. Because there are two things. One is problem, second is suffering. Problem you can't avoid, but suffering you can avoid. There are two different things. समस्या और दुख. समस्या आते रहते हैं. पर दुखी हो या ना हो आप क्या? अब देखो जब समस्या आने का आदमी आप दुखी नहीं होते हो तो समस्या ही नहीं हो. When you are not miserable, it's not a problem. There's no problem. Your misery is the problem. Make a mystery out of it. There's no problem. So too, when we are able to imagine that Ananta Mahakasha, in that like Trasarenus, like the Buddhas, the Arbuda number of Brahmandas are there. So the glory of that Ananta Chidakasha is understood one side. And all these Brahmanda, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Indra, ये किसी को ठिकाना नहीं है. You don't know how many lakhs and crores of Brahma Deva wanting to become Jivas, fully qualified, have applied like in the employment exchange. कोई बंदे को एक्सचेंज एम्प्लॉयमेंट में गया तो 48-50 के साल में आफ्टर 30 years उसको एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेटर आया. At the time of his retirement, the other day you saw, no? 10 years more retirement, that time he got appointment. फिर भी वो ज्वाइन कर लिया, 10 साल तो मिलेगा. How many are standing in line to become Indras, to become Brahma Deva, Vishnu Deva, Shiva? All of them, for us they are so big because we are small. Like for an ant, we are so big. Not that we are big, but that is very small. कोई amoeba को, when it looks at us, an amoeba which is microscopic, for us, for that, these human beings, so big, and how much distance it will travel in one day in amoeba, and you in one day, कहाँ कहाँ भाग इतना दूर जाते हैं आदमी. The amoeba will be surprised only. That amoeba might have put your photo and doing the arati. For it, we are a Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar because of its smallness. अच्छा, he lives for such a long time, 80 years, 90 years. वो तो जन्म लेते हैं माइक्रो सेकंड में मरता है, वो उसके लिए पूरा जीवन है. For us, a minute in which that a mosquito dies, for the mosquito it is the entire life. But we know what our problem. The bacteria thinks that we are set well. It doesn't know our problem. So too, so many people खड़े हो रहे हैं लाइन में वहां. मैंने इतना अश्वमेध यज्ञ किया, मैंने इतना याग किया, मैंने इतना पुण्य किया. ऑल ऑफ दैट पूरे सर्टिफिकेट्स लेकर फाइल में फोल्डर में पकड़ के वो लोग खड़े उधर. लाइक द लेजी इंडियन यूथ हु वांट द गवर्नमेंट जॉब. 2 साल 3 साल 5 साल वो लोग मेहनत करते हैं कुछ ना कुछ क्लर्क का जॉब मिल जाए ताकि आराम से परमानेंट जॉब होगा, तनख्वाह मिलेगा, पेंशन मिलेगा. Nowadays थोड़ा ट्रेंड चेंज हुआ, but earlier everybody wants government job, otherwise they don't want to work. Country was never growing. No, like this is this universe, and yet all of that is kalpita and kalpita on adhisthana, and we can bypass all this, identify with adhisthana and find the infinite truth. इसको पकड़ पाना है. That's the intellect's glory. That is the achievement of our intellect. हो रहा है क्या? धीरे धीरे. नहीं हुआ तो लगे रहो फिर से, और एक दिन होगा, आज नहीं तो tomorrow will continue. That these brahmandas who are like Thrasarenus are Buddha. कोई ऊपर उड़ रहा है, कोई नीचे जा रहा है, कोई खब्बे जा रहा है, कोई सज्जे जा रहा है, कोई डोल डोल के जा रहा है. Their description given is so, our intellect, if we can comprehend it, all that will be told by Vaashishtha. ओम पूर्णमदः श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. बोल श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. धन्यवाद. आज के लिए काफी है.